Good morning. Here we are, day 21, 3 weeks in. And again, this comes with a content warning because, as can obviously be surmised from the last few topics today, we're going to talk about suicide. I don't think any of us haven't been touched at some point by suicide in our lives. I suppose the thing that's difficult for everybody else to understand is how do you get to the point, how does somebody get to the point where that's their only solution? What happens in life that you get there? And sometimes the factors can be very obvious, or you can look back and say, oh, I should have seen the signs, or I should have known, or I should have recognized it, but it's not always the case. In my personal experience, 22 years ago, my best friend called me to tell me that his housemate, who we were all friends with, had taken his life. And if ever there was there was a case where there was just no reason. There was just no reason. There was nothing. He was a lovely guy, very nice, easygoing, pleasant to be around, good fun to have a chat with, intelligent, had a good job, had just started a relationship with a young woman, seemed very happy and everything. Everything said that his life was good and he was going in the right direction. And part of what we've tried to work out, of course, why, and part of what we thought at the time was that maybe he thought that was as good as it was going to get. But we'll never know. We'll never know. And every year, on his anniversary, my best friend and myself, we reminisce about him. I call him, he calls me. We talk about it, and we remember him fondly. But we don't know why, and we never will. At this stage, obviously, we never will. So, the thing that always strikes me about suicides, and specifically funerals of those who commit suicide, is how big they are, how big the turnouts are. And I think if the people who committed suicide could see their own funerals, they'd know how much love people had for them. I really don't know what I can say about it. With specifics to like it's such a final decision, Some people will say it's very brave, some people will say it's an act of cowardice. Whatever way you look at it, it's so final. Like, there's no more final act. And the weird thing is that I actually kind of know what it feels like, because am I suicidal? No. Have I contemplated suicide? Yes. I think many people would admit to that. It's never gone past a half fleeting moment of a thought. And I had one experience in my life which drove me to the point where I really thought, if my wife hadn't been at home at the time, that I might have done something stupid. And that's what it would have been for me. It would have been stupid. It would have been a reaction to a situation that I thought was out of control, that I couldn't control. Like I say, now I have the anchor of my daughter, who, she's the priority for me. Everything I do and anything I do starts and ends with her. She's the only thing that, she's not the only thing I care about, but she's certainly the number one thing I care about. And I want to see her have her own family and do her own things. And there's nothing in my life is so bad. Sure, we all have bad days, but there's nothing in my life so bad. But I know that hollow feeling of why am I here, why do I bother, or why am I being attacked like this, or everything is so hopeless, how can I possibly get out of it? And I know that that's a very hard feeling to reconcile, and I'm not saying that if you can't then you're weak, but what you got to realize is that, again, this is an enemy in your head, and you have to fight it. And it might seem like the easy way out, it might seem like the easy solution, and it is, don't get me wrong, it's an easy solution, but it has the highest consequences, and it's the hardest for everybody else, the people you leave behind. Of all people, Keanu Reeves was asked in an interview what he thought happens to us when we die. And I thought his response was brilliant. He said that when we die, the people who love us will miss us. So, suicide is a solution for you. It's a singular solution for the person who commits suicide. But it solves nothing for anybody else. It leaves everybody else in extraordinary difficulty and in pain, in constant questioning, like we are. Half my lifetime later, we're still questioning why my friend took his life. I'm sure his family are the same. Why? There's no answer, you know. So, look, it's hard. Life is hard. Life throws shit at you and it sticks, you know. And it's difficult, and it's hard to talk to people about it, and it's hard to find solutions, and it's hard to see solutions. Please take my word for it that they are there. There are solutions. There are ways out of it. There is no situation that is so dire that the only answer is taking your own life. It just doesn't exist. There are so many solutions. And the problem is that you probably just can't see it, and that's why talking to people helps. It's very, very hard. I understand that. I empathise with that. Life at times can be very, very hard. You're swimming in debt. You have kids. You don't know how you're going to pay for their food, education, clothes. You don't know how you're going to pay the rent. You don't know how you're going to pay back that loan. You don't know how you're going to survive, and all that's just the superficial stuff, not to mention the stuff that's going on, the trauma or the depression inside your head that's egging all those problems on. So these are battles that have to be fought, and they have to be won. Because to succumb is to lose. So you might not feel like you're worth anything, but believe me, you are. You're worth something to the people around you. Think about the number of funerals you've gone to. Think about the number of suicides you've heard about, where families have turned out and filled churches. Nothing is so, no matter what you think, nothing is so dire that that's the only option you have. And think of what you might miss. Family moments, future friend moments, weddings, births. You know, I know they sound superficial, but they're moments of collection where people get together, of celebration, and they're worth sticking around for. It's a hard life, you know. Your mother didn't bring you into this world to suffer, so don't decide that you're going to leave it so quickly because it's hard. Fight the good fight. And talk to us. Because we don't know you're hurting. We don't know what's going on. We won't know what's inside your head. It might be obvious to you what all the problems are, but it's not obvious to us. So you have to tell us. The only way we can help you is if you tell us. I know, again, that sounds like a cliche, but it's the reality of the fact that it's not always obvious. So, anyway, let's get these done. Okay, mind yourself, have a good day. Talk tomorrow.